Have you ever been in a fight in the strongest battlegrounds and realized, wow, this guy is so much better than me? In all of my time playing the game, I admit there've been a couple of moments where I've had to unfortunately humble myself and come to this understanding. But as a side effect of this, I've also come to realize that there are several skill levels that exist within the game itself. So today, I'm going to give you all the 7 grand skill levels in the strongest battlegrounds. But before that, I want to let you all know that my community DCI has new merch. Cop it in the description below and join the group. Let's start with the first skill level in everything you will ever do, the Noob. So one particular day, you load into a Roblox game called The Strongest Battlegrounds, after it was recommended to you by a friend or after you watched a video of the game on YouTube. You run around the map for a little bit, exploring this strange and unique game which you've only just started playing. All is fine until this guy walks up to you and boom. Now you're suddenly getting absolutely destroyed. You have now gotten into your first fight ever. You have no idea what you're doing, but you spam the hell out of your attack button in hopes of winning this fight. Spoiler alert, you lose. The sad part is that you've lost the battle, but the good part is that you've just found a new enjoyment, and with this you begin to grind kills and increase your level of skill in hopes of being able to hang with other fighters of the strongest battlegrounds. Noobs are at the lowest level of the fighting hierarchy, so from now on they'll be used to scale future skill levels. After going through trial and error in combat and enjoying the game for a couple days, you've now accumulated well over 1,000 kills and have become a little more familiar with the game and its mechanics. With this, we are introduced to the advanced player. As an advanced player, you are now a little more used to the game and its mechanics, and know how to put together a string of moves into a simple, yet effective combo. You're still a little rough around the edges when it comes to defending yourself in one-on-one confrontations, but you've noticed that you're no longer getting thrashed around like when you were a noob, and that you can actually hold your own much better now in fights. The very obvious fact remains though that you need much improvement in your combat abilities, and that shows in the amount of fights you win and lose. As time goes on you fight more and more battles, honing your abilities and becoming even stronger than you were before. If we were to scale advanced players, then they would be as strong as 2 noobs. Your desire to become even stronger as an advanced player drives you to fight more, causing you to go after anybody who even dares look in your direction in public servers. A couple of weeks after starting to play the strongest battlegrounds, you now have enough fighting prowess under your belt to be considered an experienced player. It would be safe to say that you've accumulated well over 3,000 kills at this point, and understand the game's mechanics way more than when you were just an advanced player. It is also at this point that you are introduced to a wide variety of combos. These include combos that were optimized to have the greatest damage output, and combos that have been termed by famous players like Kyoto and his Kyoto combo. When it comes to fighting in general, you now have enough knowledge about the strongest battlegrounds to use the game's specific techniques against other players. This includes side dashing, meaning you dash with your side towards and around the player in order to bypass their block. Another TSB technique which you should have learned around this time is punching slowly to stun your enemy, providing enough time for your moves to recharge and extend your combo. It is also as an experienced player that you should have gotten a feel for the specific way that you fight in battles. Now there's a couple of combinations you can choose thanks to the characters available to you, but some examples are playing passive, aggressive, or being a more adaptable player overall. When scaling experienced players, they should be as strong as 4 noobs combined. As an experienced player, time starts to pass by fast. Your combos start getting better and flashier. Your movement starts to become harder to track and counter in the eyes of more lowly skilled players. The opponents which would give you a bit of trouble start to get easier to beat, almost as if they were starting to get worse, or was it just you getting better? A couple of months after playing the strongest battlegrounds, it would be safe to assume that you have gathered around 8,000 to 10,000 kills, effectively making you the highest skill level that a normal player can be, a veteran. As a veteran, you have seen everything that there is to combat in the strongest battlegrounds. You know all the latest combos, all the newest movement tricks, and all the crazy combat glitches that there is to see in the game. If you really wanted to, you could probably go on a good 50 kill streak in a public server full of advanced and new players if you wanted to. But instead, you aim to fight as a means of pure enjoyment, or just relax as there's nothing else to really do at this point in the game. The veteran is the end of the road in terms of skill level for the general player population of the strongest battlegrounds, with the line between total number of kills and actual skill becoming blurred at this point. The reason for this is because at this point in the game, a lot of players will become bored and start to slack off doing other things. When this happens, their skill will start to stagnate as a result of this sudden boredom. When scaling veteran players, they are as strong as a whopping 8 noobs. Although veteran is the end of the line in terms of skill for the general player base, it is the start of a new skill road for a smaller and more dedicated population of players. You still feel as though you can get better, as if there's a higher level that you could push yourself to. So you go watch videos of top players in the game, studying what they do and how they play the game through their point of view. You start playing the game more than usual, adjusting your technique and fighting in 1v1s more often against players with identical skill to yourself. During your pursuit of getting better, 5 months pass by like the wind. Then one day, you're fighting against someone who you perceive to be on an equal level of skill as you. You end up completely seeing through all their techniques, rendering their side dashes and combos useless. You finish the battle in victory, albeit confused, but astounded by your own abilities. It was strange. Just a few months ago you were struggling fairly well against these types of players, and now you're beating them with ease. It's almost as if you evolved. Evolved players in the strongest battlegrounds are people who break through the natural skill ceiling in Roblox fighting games, usually because they have experience in other Roblox fighter games, or simply spend more time than usual on the game. Some players also achieve this level more quickly due to this fact. If I had to place myself at a skill level, it would certainly be evolved, as I have experience in similar fighting games to TSB. Other specific groups of players are also assumed to be around the skill level. This includes people that you see on the leaderboard and the YouTubers you watch. If we were to scale evolved players, then they would be as strong as a staggering 12 noobs combined. Holy crap. By this point, this will be the peak that the smaller population of dedicated players will reach in their strongest Battlegrounds career. I can't find an exact reason as to why this happens, being one of those players myself. Despite this, I think two simple answers to this question are time and sanity. Even though this is the end of the new skill road for that small population, an even smaller group of people will manage to rise above, breaking their skill ceilings once again. This smaller, yet powerful group of players are called the experts of the strongest battlegrounds. These are the people who give other people those insane flashy combos that you never knew could exist on YouTube. Experts are the fighting innovators of TSB, finding out new combat tricks to increase damage output and guarantee a confirmed kill. When watching these players in combat, you can immediately tell that they have enough experience to completely run up a 100+ kill streak in public lobbies if they so please. Experts also usually go on to join the various clans that inhabit the strongest battlegrounds or stay to themselves, so a great number of these people are not known to the general TSB player base. Fortunately though, there are some outliers which you may have heard of. Kyoto, Makaku, Zayu. These are all household names in the community, and each of them perfectly represent the expert skill level in the strongest battlegrounds. When scaling experts, they are presumably as strong as 16 noobs combined, which is just insane. Without a doubt, experts are one of the strong foundations that hold the TSB community up, pushing the already restricted combat forward towards new heights. Despite this though, there is still one more skill level, one that even surpasses that of the experts themselves. Derived from experts, an even smaller number of people manage to surpass their skill ceilings for the last and final time. This tiny number of people are called masters. The master level in the strongest battlegrounds are the highest possible skill level that a player can reach. Masters have played the game day in and day out. They know all there is to combat in the strongest battlegrounds, and show for it in the way they play the game and handle fighting scenarios. Unfortunately though, there are very few master players in the strongest battlegrounds, and there's really no concrete way of knowing who actually is at the highest level of combat in the game as of yet. If I had to take a very wild guess, I'd say there's only about 50 people who've achieved this level in the game. The only two players that can be considered masters are Lord Heaven and Materia, and that's only because they are the only two people that we know are actually that good. If we had to scale master players to noobs, then masters would be as strong as 20 noobs combined. I don't think you guys understand how insane that is. After master, there is no skill level that is higher than it to my knowledge. With this, we reach the end of the skill road with the master level.